Fortnite Season 4 is just weeks away, and with it will return tons of new weapons, items, and features, which will start with the pump shotgun returning after 200 days. Fans are just exhausted of what feels like learning a new shotgun every season, and so with the pump back, another thing everyone's looking forward to is Fortnite's favorite mythic. Whether you're a fan or not, Marvel is undoubtedly the biggest collaboration of all time. It's become pretty regular to expect new skins in the item shop for all the new movies or shows, but something everyone loved was the LTMs. Back in Chapter 1, the first Marvel collab showcased the Infinity Gauntlet mode, and it was groundbreaking. The mythic would spawn during the match, and whoever picked it up first would literally become Thanos, giving you a set of powers and 700 health. It was insanely OP, but this was just the beginning. A year later, Marvel would come back bigger and better, introducing the endgame LTM. This time, Thanos had even more power, and he wasn't alone. Players would be set on either the Avengers or Chitauri team and would get their own special mythics, from Cap's shield to Iron Man's repulsors. For years, this mode has been considered one of the best by all players, and with the hopes of a Marvel season coming up, perhaps we'll finally see it return and remaster once again. I mean, just imagine smashing your enemies as the Hulk. But we might not have to wait until Season 4 to see the return of one of the biggest fan favorites. The pump shotgun is actually coming back in the next update. Yeah, recently Fortnite Competitive teased it in a tweet, and we haven't seen it since the start of Chapter 3, so it would definitely make a lot of players happy. Now keep in mind, this is under their announcement of the late game arena mode returning, so it might just be exclusive to that. So if you're not hoping for Marvel, you might have heard of the throwback theory. With next season celebrating 5 years of Fortnite Battle Royale and tons of old items being updated, all players are asking for is the Scar. After being constantly teased in live events and simply being one of the iconic staples of the game, we'd all love to see it return. Other OG items are also on everyone's list, like the tactical shotgun. Although Epic has added way more shotguns than I can even begin to count, it's a classic that'll never be forgotten. So if we're expecting a throwback season, it'd be a crime to ignore the hunting rifles. The sniper became a historic weapon with insane trick shots, clips, and a lot more. It returned for just a week in Season 2 and was gone too soon, leaving everyone wishing it would come back for longer. And it wouldn't be a throwback season without the OG map. We all know that it isn't returning anytime soon, but it would be incredible if it was an LTM just like Zero Build. I mean, the mode could even give us a chance to play on the Chapter 1 map instead. We don't even need the old map to ask Fortnite to bring back Colombo. He was with us for less than a season until he vanished when the war started. Now, thankfully, they seem to be hibernating, but with this horrifying Colombo skull on the island, Epic has gotta be trolling us. And sometimes that's exactly what Fortnite is all about. Some of the craziest weapons make the game 10 times more fun. The inflatable quickly became one of the best mobility items in the game. Everyone just loved how fun it was. It came alongside the Gravitron and Propifier, which weren't the most practical, but they were definitely some of the most entertaining. But I doubt you ever mastered fishing enough to find the 1 in a million mythic goldfish. From the start of Chapter 2, this thing was so rare you probably haven't seen one in a normal match, and so because of this, it was an instant kill item, dealing 200 damage on impact. Although it was incredibly rare, it was sadly vaulted with the start of Chapter 3, but would be cool to have back. I mean, just imagine getting lucky and accidentally catching one. But Season 6 showed us there's a much better way to use a stick and string. Bows arrived to the game and offered a completely fresh experience. Despite some of them being annoying to fight against, it changed up the gameplay, not to mention the different variants and upgrades made them one of the most interesting weapons in the game. Even though items are one of the core elements of the game, holiday events are known to be some of the best times to play Fortnite. But recently, these events have started to receive less and less content. The No Sweat Summer event this year left players feeling like it was one of the worst events ever. Thanks to 2019's 14 Days of Summer, none of them have topped it since. The daily items and fun LTMs made this 2019 summer a complete success, and if Epic doesn't want to fail again next year, they gotta start taking notes. Summer isn't the only one, because the Winterfest events have also been overshadowed. Winterfest 2019 was the most popular Christmas event yet, with free presents, an interactive cabin, a snowy map, and even more free rewards. Now, luckily, Epic did just as good last year, so let's hope they keep it up for this December. A lot of free items also come from collabs, which can even have their own POIs. And while places like the Daily Bugle may be cool, they'll never beat the Rift Zones from Season X. Pandora and Gotham City brought some of the most unique crossovers in the game, and while we never got the Batmobile, Fortnite's vehicles are still some of the best in gaming, especially the drift board. From the moment it was added in Season 7, players learned stunts, trick shots, even how to fly. Drift boards haven't returned since the end of Chapter 1, so let's just hope they don't give it the baller treatment. Sadly, the choppers were already changed, but they're still pretty good. They're one of the most balanced vehicles in the game because there's no weapons, only you and your teammates. And you can't forget about ATKs. They may be outdated with all the new cars, but you gotta admit, there's a lot of nostalgia around them. Also, the planes are a little controversial, but after years of changes, they are confirmed to be returning in Season 4. It'd be even better to see them in Air Royale alongside a whole list of other LTMs. Since we entered Chapter 3, we've only seen Close Encounters, Unvaulted, and a constant playlist for solid gold. It would even be nice to see simple modes like High Explosives and One-Shot return, so perhaps with the new crew pack, we might even finally see the Getaway make an appearance. And while some LTMs are completely forgotten, some POIs are a staple of the game. Locations like Pleasant Park were in the game from day one and lasted 2 whole chapters, only getting some minor changes along the way. Chapter 3 has felt fresh with a break from locations like Salty Springs and Retail Row, but if Season 4 does turn out to be a throwback, then it's definitely possible that the reality tree could bring back any of these very soon. Speaking of the reality tree, we've already seen it bringing back various old locations from Fortnite history, one of the most iconic being one of the dusty warehouses. Sadly, you could only find one of them on the map right now, but if the 0 point continues to get stronger, we might just see the whole POI return. With 2 possible theories of what next season could be, some players are also hoping that we'll see the Marvel POIs return once again. Stark Industries also brought an entire chunk of upstate New York to the island and was huge. I mean, just imagine getting the Avengers Tower or campus on the island in Season 4 with even more characters and mythics. Fortnite even had its very own iconic base in Chapter 2. Of course, I'm talking about the Agency. Season 2 was home to covert spies and top secret missions, and their leader was Midas. You all know how much of an impact he had on the story despite only being around for a season, but with his POI, upcoming skin, and secret plan, he is definitely returning soon. He was also more than just a spy. In Season 4, he was turned into a fish. Only found near the ruins of the Authority, you had a rare chance to catch the Midas Flopper. It was legendary rarity and upgraded your entire loadout to gold, even giving you a free scar. But a legendary item that's even better hasn't been seen for 3 years, the Chug Jug. It was a super popular item that had the ability to fully restore all your health and shield, but sadly, it hasn't been in the game since Chapter 1. The only time we've seen it since was Ocean's Unlimited Mythic version during Season 3, and honestly, with how heals have improved, that's how it should return today. Something else that changes over time is the storyline. We may be getting answers to mysteries more than ever, but the issue is they're not in game. A lot of the storyline has been coming from different comic series, but these are only available in real life, so if players haven't picked them up or watched our storyline videos, then a lot of key information can be missed. It'd be really cool if Epic included a way for these comics to be shown in game too, just like at the end of Season 3. But nothing will make as big of an impact as the guided missile. It was insanely fun, but after Epic nerfed it into the ground, it became pretty much useless, and it wasn't long before they removed it from the files entirely. Since Season 7, it has never been seen again, and you can't even get it in creative. I'm sure we'd all love to see it return alongside items like the Shockwave Launcher and even simple items like the RPG. We'll get the Pumpkin Launcher this Fortnite Mares like usual, but it's crazy to think such a popular weapon hasn't been in the game normally since Chapter 2. And it's been even longer since we saw the last biggest Fortnite event of all time, the World Cup. It was a huge tournament, and since 2019, we've all been asking for the next one. Luckily, there's an in-person FNCS happening in just a few months, and it looks like the World Cup might be the next step. Considering the first one gave out $100 million, I'm not surprised that Epic are waiting for the right time to do it. The question is, will they give out an even higher amount of money? There's also an entirely new group of pro players that could take the spotlight. Just look how successful Booga became. So I hope y'all enjoyed. It's been Tommy. Keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.